Hello, Taylor, and welcome to the show, Always an Athlete podcast with Jonathan Osborne. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Are you joining me from Texas?
I am.
Awesome. So I'm going to start the show off by just describing what you're up to now, and then I'd love to get into more of your background, what led you to TCU, and all the things you've accomplished already in your young career. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right, so this is the first season of a podcast that I started called Always an Athlete. And Taylor, you are the first current athlete to be featured on the show. Taylor Bigby is a current NCAA women's basketball player at TCU. She previously played at the University of Southern California as well as the University of Oregon. She hails from one of my hometowns, Las Vegas, Nevada, where she is one of the greatest women's basketball players ever to come out of Nevada. Taylor, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So tell me what's a day in your life like right now?
Right now, school-wise, I'm currently in one class, so I'm big chilling for this semester. I only have class on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then day-to-day, I have practice, weights and practice in the morning. So I'm at the gym I work out on my own before that, but I'm at the gym from about 7:30 to like 12:30-ish, and then I just kind of come home, chill, do whatever I want on the days that I don't have class.
All right, and so you say 7:30 and you work out on your own. So just walk us through what the day-to-day regimen is. Work out on your own doing what? And then you have weights, then you have practice, because the season starts this week, right?
Yes.
All right.
I work out on my own. I get in with the GAs that we have, our grad assistants. And it consists of different things. Like, it could be scout specific now that games are coming about. So just things that, like the team's hedging or if they're in a drop. So just working on things like that, getting up my shots, really just staying prepared and working on my craft in whatever that looks like day to day. Then after that, weights is normally around like 8:15. So I lift, and then practice is normally at 9:30. And it's about we never fully go the 2 hours, but it's about like 90 minutes. And then, yeah.
And then ice, rest.
Yeah, I do recovery. I don't know if you know, but we have like this super cool it's like a sports performance center where there's like a sauna, there's a cold room, there's cold plunge, all types of things like recovery seats, red light therapy beds. So me and some of my teammates go over there to do the sauna two to three times throughout the week.
I did not know. All right, so you're currently at TCU, and I know over the summer you had a really great experience to play for one of the USA national teams. Would you talk to me about that experience? One, how'd you make that team? What was that process like? And you played in China. Let's talk all about that as well.
So let's just start with how I made the team, which is also just crazy. I did something with my team through TCU. It was a USA event, but it was through TCU. And I went with 3 of my other teammates to Arizona. This was like back in May. We went out there to compete in the 3-on-3 tournament that was hosted by USA. And from there, then I was invited to go play in Chile for the Nations League to qualify for World Cup. And then they took 6 people to that trip. So it was me and other big name players. And from there, I was selected to then go to China. So honestly, it was a blessing. And just to see how, like I did one thing, had a leap of faith, and it turned into something way bigger than what I thought to begin with. I was just going to Arizona just to hoop with my team. So it was cool. I would say the experience in China was super cool. I've never thought I'd be going for free. So it was cool. Probably one of the cleanest places I've been. Literally could probably walk outside with no shoes and feel fine. Weather was nice. The time change was absolutely crazy. Like that took me a little bit to get adjusted to. And then of course being a little jet lagged when I got back, but I had a great time. I'm happy for the experience. I think it helped me just as a player, period. And just like having the belief in myself, I think it gave me that sense of validation that I feel like a lot of us athletes, over time we end up looking for. And that just kind of showed me, whether I left with the gold medal or not, it kind of just showed me like I am where I'm supposed to be. So it was a super cool experience. I had fun. It was cool competing against other people.
And so in China, who did you play against?
We played against Spain. We played against the Netherlands. We played against the Philippines, played against Mexico, played against Chile. So like each day was kind of, I don't want to call it bracket play, but it was pretty much you probably had 2 games each day. So we played a couple teams. They were all, again, like it was cool because for us, like being the United States, we're so big on 5-on-5, whereas all those other places, they harp on like 3-on-3. So they're like 10 steps ahead of us. Because they practice those types of things year round. So it was also cool to just like within playing, getting to take little bits of things that they were doing and being able to apply it when I came back here to play 5-on-5.
And one question I have for you is you've played at the collegiate level for a number of years now. You've played now international 3-on-3 ball. How did your game evolve when you're on I assume it's the same size court, but with fewer people on each side? How does that work?
I would say my game evolved in a sense of like, you really got to take what the defense gives you. It's a 12-second shot clock, I believe. Like, you ain't got time to,
Right.
set up a play. Like, you really got to take what they give you. It's super, I would say aggressive. There's no such thing as a foul in 3-on-3. I don't know if you've watched some of the 3-on-3 stuff, but it's super physical. So I would say that, the physicality, and then also just like my reads, having to be in attack mode at all times. You really don't have that much time. Actually, it's not 12 minutes, it's a 10-minute game. It just showed me that every possession matters. Like, you got 10 minutes to try to get to 21 or whoever has the most. So it just showed me every possession matters. I mean, really giving up no twos. Like, threes counted as twos, so you'd want your opponent to shoot a layup or shoot something within the 3-point line opposed to a two. So it taught me a lot of different things that I feel like I was able to come back. And of course, it's a different game when you come back to fives, but I learned that if you can master playing in threes or master playing under duress like that, when you get to fives, it's kind of like it's a no-brainer. I was telling my dad, I think the game slowed down for me a lot this summer, not just, for my preparation being here at TCU, but then also just playing in 3-on-3 in Chile and then going to the World Cup. It was kind of like, it definitely slowed down for me, which is a good thing, I feel like, as a player.
I agree. And some people, the game never slows down. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So you mentioned your dad. Let's talk about him briefly. So your dad and I were teammates in college, and I actually remember when you were born.
Really?
And I do. And so it's really amazing in every way to see your development, but also to see how well he's doing. And so let's talk about the old days. So when did you discover your love for basketball? I know you ended up accomplishing so much at the high school level back in Nevada, but when did you discover your love for basketball? Who was your first coach? And what made you take basketball, of all the things in the world that you could do? Why basketball?
Well, I guess there's a lot of questions, but I would say my first coach ever, I guess, really was my dad. Not necessarily didn't want it to be, but it was him. A little bit after he finished playing, he ended up being a coach at Cheyenne High School.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always with my dad, after school. And of course he had practice. So me and my siblings, we were always on the side just playing. And my brother played basketball and football, but it wasn't anything serious. But
Right.
after so long, you go to practice with your dad every day. You don't want to just sit and watch the boys run up and down or get to see my brother play all the time. So I would get out there and I would just play around with my brother. And it's actually hilarious because I remember I did ballet. I cheered for my brother's football team. Me telling my parents I wanted to play basketball was literally a joke. I remember when I told them, they literally laughed at me. Because they were like, there's no way. I was such and I'm still very girly, but they just never thought those words would come out of my mouth. So they had signed me up for NJB League at the YMCA.
Right.
And it's one of those things where everybody makes a team. I sucked, but everybody pretty much makes a team. This was back in the day when I used to shoot with two hands. So it was kind of everyone makes a team. My parents honestly thought it wasn't going to last long. At some point I was going to end up quitting. I did a couple seasons actually in NJB. And then from there, as you know, I ended up going to Centennial High School, but they had a AAU team, which was Las Vegas Bulldogs. And they were also in the NJB League. But they dominated, of course, because they're playing against a whole bunch of people who are newcomers. They pretty much invited me to come try out for their team after a couple seasons of me playing in NJB. I believe it was it's a long time ago, but I believe this was 4th or 5th grade.
Wow.
And that's kind of where I definitely got my love for the game from my dad in so many different ways. I grew up watching him play in college, of course, and then he's just always been around it. And he still is around it to this day. So I feel it kind of was at some point I'm gonna want to touch a ball.
Right.
And then I had an older brother as well who he ended up playing football in college, but high school, middle school, he was doing both. I think it also helped my dad and I's bond in a way. So, I started at a really early age and then I ended up playing for Centennial for a really long time, from being younger to while I was in middle school to then when I got to high school, I of course went to Centennial, had a lot of success there.
We're going to talk about it. Let's talk about the success. But first, is your dad still above the rim? Can the man still dunk?
You know, I don't think my old man can still dunk now.
It hurts more and more the
But
older we
in his
get. Yeah,
prime,
yeah.
his prime, I heard he was pretty jumpy, he was
He was.
athletic,
He
all
was.
the things,
Mhm.
but right now, I don't think he still got
Okay.
it.
He was dunk contest jumpy. It was a big deal. A big
That's
deal.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, so Centennial High School, you were the 2-time Nevada Gatorade Player of the Year. You were a top recruit nationally, 3-time state champion. What years was that? Sophomore, junior, senior?
No, freshman, sophomore, junior. My senior year, unfortunately, there was COVID, but I
Okay,
definitely would have got a 4th ring, like, if
okay.
we're just being honest.
I believe you.
Would have got a 4th ring, but yeah, my freshman, sophomore, and junior year.
Oh, wow. So COVID is what caused you to lose the four-peat. Seriously, huh?
Yeah, so, like, if I would have got 4P, like, if COVID didn't happen, I would have been probably inducted into, like, that one team probably could have been inducted into, like, the Hall of Fame because I would have had 4 rings,
That's amazing.
but it's okay.
Well, talk to me about that. You
Man,
basically won the chip every year that there was one when you were in high school, and you were playing AAU. I'm sure you were getting a lot of interest from around the country from different coaches. And so, how did you decide not necessarily Oregon, but how did you narrow it down as you're coming into, I assume, your sophomore, junior year, trying to figure out what's the right fit for you? How did you assess the options that you had?
I would say at the time, Oregon was, like, the pinnacle of women's basketball. They had been recruiting me. Sorry, my dog.
No
Um,
worries.
they had been recruiting me, and what's crazy is my head coach here at TCU now, he was recruiting me at Oregon. He was an
Okay.
assistant coach, him and Chavi, and Kelly Graves was the head coach, and that was just honestly the school that I felt like never went away. Like, always calling me, they were always in contact with me. I definitely wanted to go coming from winning, like, I wanted to go to a winning program, and of course, get out of Vegas. Like, I was a big, like, I don't wanna stay home type of kid, like, so bad for so long. So that was a big thing, but of course, like, not too far from home because I didn't wanna be homesick. But I would just say, like, a little bit of the style of play, like, I played for an AAU team in California, and they kinda let me play a lot in pick and rolls, and, I was able to create a lot of shots for my teammates. It's like was a unicorn at the time. Like, you have a 5'11" guard who can get downhill and create plays for other people and plays both sides of the ball. So I kind of felt like whatever school I ended up choosing would have been a good fit for me. And at that time, I felt like it was Oregon. And then I ended up also committing early. I committed my junior year, which I guess was a blessing and a disguise at the same time because COVID happened.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, I ended up committing on my visit as a junior. And when I got there, yeah, I mean, I struggled as a freshman, the freshman things, but then I also was injured a lot. So a little homesick, all the different things.
I heard an interview that you gave actually when you got to USC, and you were talking about, at a high level, you were talking about having some injuries your freshman year, some challenges your freshman year, but you also talked about how faith is what brought you through that. Could you talk some about that?
For sure. And faith is still bringing me through. I would say, like, it sucks, but you really recognize and seek God when you need him most and when you've hit rock bottom and when all the things that you thought, I guess, necessarily like you would lean on, like he isolates you for sure. And I would just say, like, yeah, my faith, my circle, my dad, my family, seriously, is why I'm still here today and why I still, get up and go get it every day. And I think honestly, Centennial was a big part of that. Like, Karen White was the first coach to ever tell me no. Like, and not just on the court. Like, I think just being on time places and
Right.
when it did come to the court, like having that grit, having that change in the gear, like all the different things. Like, I definitely think on top of having great parents and a great atmosphere, like that school for 4 years, like definitely made me the person I am today when it comes to basketball, like just being mentally strong, all the things that I feel like I don't think everyone necessarily gets at every school they go to. Like, I got the benefit of like winning, but also like she prepared me for life.
And so you go to Oregon. You don't
Yeah.
stay for 4 years. So not every detail, but kind of what was your thinking when you decided that you wanted to transfer? How did you pick USC? How do you leave the Ducks with all the variety of Nike things that we see in terms of the colors and the colorways and all that. I visited USC actually in high school, and it's obviously an impressive program as well. But how did you decide, one, to leave Oregon, and then two, to go to University of Southern California?
I just decided to leave Oregon. I think I just needed a change of environment, and I just needed like a reset, honestly. And it was a blessing in disguise that I was able to get my year back. So I just feel like get a fresh start and go somewhere. And just at this rate, you just want a chance. Like, you're not asking to be all things to all people. You just want a chance. And Lindsay was someone who also recruited me when I was in high school. She was at Cal at the time. And I felt like USC is right up the street from home. Like, it's nothing but a 4-hour drive for my family to come see me, or a plane ride home, literally probably like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So super close. And then I also just wanted to be a part of something special. And at the time, SC wasn't a big women's basketball school. And I wanted to be a part of something special. Like, I had went to Oregon. That was already something that was special, and others had already paved the way. And not that people didn't pave the way at SC, like Cheryl Miller's the GOAT. What are we talking about? But like, for the longest, like they were still trying to bring their program back, and I wanted to be a part of something special. And that was another main reason why I had went to USC.
Are there games that stand out to you from those first two chapters, whether Oregon or USC, both of them, where you look back and you say, I was on it that night? Like, nights where you were in your vibe. Like, talk to me about that.
For sure, I'm going to speak on SC first.
Okay.
For sure, the UCLA games. You had to be on 10 about those games. Like, it's a rival. And I remember just being the kid that, just coming out of high school, like, I was never recruited because I could shoot. And I think when I got to SC, like, I really got in the gym and worked on my game, worked on shooting. Like, I kind of had everything else. Not perfect, not perfected, but like, I had everything else. Next thing was like, can you stick a shot? And SC kind of brought that out of me a little bit. And I remember it was a game against UCLA, and it was at home. I had hit, like, I was feeling myself so much. Like, I think I pulled up in transition, like a transition 3. Like, I'm holding threes up, like everything. Like, there's just those games where, like, the momentum, like, you live for those type of games. So I would say that game. I didn't play much at Oregon, but there were definitely games where, like, just being on the bench and being engaged, like, we had some pretty good games. And the crowd at Oregon, like, was always sold out. But definitely for sure at SC, when I got to get my feet wet, like, it was always, I would say, against the UCLAs. Like, always, like, we always got hyped for those games for whatever reason, because they were our rivals.
It's personal. Yeah, it's across town.
For sure.
All right. And so at USC, you all make the NCAA tournament and then eventually the Elite Eight. I've seen pictures of you cutting down nets. Was that NCAA tournament nets at the different rounds or what?
Wait, did you see when I was at SC? That was Pac-12. We won Pac-12 tournaments. And that was cool too. Also, just because that was the last Pac-12, I guess, for now. I don't really know what they got going on.
It's evolving.
Yeah. At that time, that was the last Pac-12 year that there would have ever been. So, like, a big thing for our team was, like, let's make history. And, yeah, that was pretty cool, actually, cutting down the nets there. And then I also got to cut down nets last year as well, Big 12 tournament. So it's cool. It's cool to have, like, I've gotten to be a part of winning culture, winning teams. And ultimately, like, I came from winning out of high school, but being able to still do that at the college level was, like, pretty big time.
It's rare. How do you define, besides wins and losses, how do you define a winning culture?
I would say it starts at the top, having player-led teams, having a sense of selflessness when it comes to your team, consistency, being known for just, like, having that grit about us. Like, I would definitely say when I was at SC, like, Coach B, she was our defensive coach, and one thing we was going to do when we went out there, we didn't know nothing about offense, but we knew, like, when we go out there, we're going to defend. Like, if we win this game, it's going to be because we had 1 and they had 0. Like, so we knew that. And I would also just say here, like, just like the grit, the confidence, the competitive spirit that we have here, like, yeah, I've learned a lot of different things at multiple different places. And that's the journey. That's the great thing in the journey of, like, I feel like being a transfer used to be kind of, like, seen as, like, a negative, a bad thing.
Right.
And I've gotten to be at 3 different schools, and I could definitely say they've all, in whatever different ways, have shaped me to who I am today in positive ways.
And so how'd you pick your...
I picked TCU. Like I said, I knew Mark from way back when I
Right.
was in high school. I didn't get a chance to play for him. And when I hopped in the portal, he was the first person to reach out to me. I saw that he was originally at Sac State. So when I was also in the portal when I was in the portal, I ended up going to SC. He was at Sac State. And I knew I didn't want to go down to that level. I still wanted to stay at the level I was at. And then once I saw he was here and I saw what he did the year before, it was crazy. They pretty much had like injuries all across the board.
Right.
He had walk-on tryouts, and like he still, for what he was able to accomplish in his first year with all that different adversity, I think I have some belief in him. He has pros in the league right now. And I just wanted to go to a coach that I felt like knew me, knew my game. At the end of the day, I wanted to get to the next level. And I still want to get to the next level.
Mhm.
And I just feel like this was the perfect place for me, not too far away from home, the people I know. And then, like I just want it to be more than just, I feel like in ways I was put in the box when I was at SC, and I want it to be more than that coming here. So that's really what made me come to TCU. And then again, being a part of something special. Like I got to do it again for the second time. So that was just super exciting. Like I can't really say, like I said, like they all have had their like, each of them have had great impacts on me.
Sure.
In ways.
I want to talk now about what you mentioned, wanting to get to the next level. I want to talk about that. And I also want to talk about, and I'll ask you questions specifically to this, but I also want to talk about how you go about preparing yourself for the next level, both on the court and off the court. So I'll start with, you mentioned wanting to get to the next level. What's the next level for someone who has been a part of winning cultures since they were a kid, someone who has gotten to play at some of the most prestigious, storied programs in our country and in basketball, and who's accomplished so much? I mean, you got the USA hoodie on. So what's the next level for you, and how are we going to get there?
I say next level for me, and I think any Division I hooper, forget Division I, like anybody who steps on the court and is hooping, like their goal is to get to the league, play in the W, play overseas even, like that's the ultimate goal. But I think the ultimate goal, period, like is just to win at life. So
Right.
for me, like I want to get into, my dad runs companies and stuff like that. Like I want to get into residual income when it comes to just like what does the next steps like look like for me. Like I definitely want to play basketball for as long as I can, but of course it's not promised. Like injuries happen, different things happen. So I definitely want to get to the next level. And I guess within my preparation for that is I be in the gym like every day. Like I've gotten better at giving myself rest and taking time off because that's also needed, and that's a part of, the journey. But I wake up every day and I get in the gym before I have weights in practice. I don't really miss a day. I don't really miss a beat. And I've kind of been doing that since I was at SC consistently. And I think it just has helped grow my game and just the confidence in myself. I know like I put in the work. So let's just say like I have a bad night. Like I know like I work though. So it's like I know it's like what's meant for me is coming. So that's how I'm preparing. And then the mental aspect, I guess, because that's a part of it as well. Just staying into my Bible, keeping my circle small, and, just like telling myself that I'm enough and that a box score, a win, a loss, like none of that defines anything. And like you said, like I've been winning all my life. And I think once you've done that, like you don't really get complacent. It's like, okay, like what's next? Like, so for me, just taking that next step and just figuring out different ways to just like figure out life, whether that's basketball or whether that's off the court.
So you just summed it up in a really nice sentence, but the whole idea behind having this podcast was, my basketball career ended a long time ago in terms of playing every day in college and all that, but I'm in law now, I'm in business now, and I meet people from all walks of life, all over the world. And one thing unites us, those of us who were competitors when we were young, or who had parents who trained us to be athletes and to think like athletes, is that no matter how successful you can become, you still have that drive. And you want to win every day, even if even if you won yesterday, and even if it seems to other people like there's nothing else to accomplish, you can always find something to fight for and to strive for. And so, you may not realize it, or maybe you do realize it, but you're an inspiration to people much, much older than you who look at athletes and come to your games and then go home and put the laptop on and get back to work because they're inspired by the athletes that we get to watch on television and in person. So tell me, when you think about your game, what do you, so you mentioned when you got to college, you wanted to add the jump shot. So when you think about your game, even going into this upcoming season, which starts on Thursday, what did you want to add to your menu of options coming out of last season?
I think honestly just being the most confident version of myself and whatever that looks like. I mean, like, I've been on some of the top stages. I've played at multiple different colleges, and like, over time, it's like it's taken me a while, but I've been able to prove to myself, like, you're that
I'm the
girl,
one.
like, you're that girl for real. Like, you have to walk
I love
around
it.
like that.
Yeah.
And for me, I just think my biggest thing that I've taken over the 4 years, well, this will be my 4th year of like playing on the court, like, be the most confident version of yourself. It's a long season, and just don't get too high or don't get too low. Like, I guess I don't necessarily have like a certain thing that I want to add to my game or add to my bag when it comes to this season. Just the confidence aspect. Like, don't let anybody take that away from you, and don't go into games without it. Like, you should have it win or lose.
Right.
0 for 3, 2 for 2. Like, you should still have that confidence, like, because I just worked so hard. So I guess my main focus is just, like I said, like, just being the most confident version of myself.
0 for 3 can quickly become 7 for 10.
Man, that's why it's so important.
All right, let's do the mic and drill. So for the podcast, the mic and drill is when I ask guests, I'll ask you some easy questions, really just to get to know you better. Some of the questions will give you an option between A and B. So laying it up with the left and with the right, like in the mic and drill. Others will just be a straight up question, but they're all pretty rapid fire. And I'm not going to give you too much time to think between answers. So number one, 3-pointer or layup?
3-pointer.
Would you rather be on defense, up 1 with 10 seconds left, or on offense, down 1 with 10 seconds left?
Defense.
Game-winning free throw or game-winning block?
Game-winning block.
Buying your first mansion in Los Angeles or Fort Worth, Texas?
Los Angeles.
Road trip or long flight?
Long flight.
Favorite country you visited outside the United States?
Bahamas. The water's blue. It's nice. It's a vacation spot. Yeah.
Favorite city in the United States?
California. Well, I guess Los Angeles.
Hardest person to guard other than yourself?
I would say Azzy Flood. I guarded her in high school.
And why was she so hard to guard in high school?
Just smooth, like just super smooth, could score at all 3 levels. And those are the hardest people to guard because you don't know what they're going to do.
And, okay, so your top 3 favorite performances from your career, starting with your favorite high school game, your favorite collegiate game so far, and your favorite national game so far.
Favorite high school game would definitely be my last year winning state. Just like the camaraderie was there. And then you said not at a national.
National and then college, either way.
College, winning Big 12 last year. And then national, I would say winning Nations League and being able to even qualify for World Cup. I would say the game against Chile, for sure.
Did y'all have like the flags wrapped around you and everything?
Yep.
That's cool. That's awesome. Congratulations. All right. I think you already answered this when you were talking about the Bahamas, but is your favorite vacation at the beach or in the mountains?
Beach.
Cardio or weightlifting?
Cardio.
Game-winning free throw or taking a game-winning charge?
Game-winning free throw.
All right. One-on-one game to 12. Make it, take it. Taylor Bigby versus Lamar Bigby. Who wins?
You said game to 12?
Yep. Make it, take it.
I'm winning, for sure. I'm going to say it's going to end up being like 12-8 or 12-9.
Right.
Like, he going to get a couple buckets. You know how these do.
Is he fouling, though?
Oh, he's fouling for sure. He's fouling for sure.
All right. Do you have a role model in basketball?
Yes, I do. I would say as of right now, like, I look at someone like Asia Wilson, and of course she's not even in my position, but I just think how dominant she is, and just her leadership, her ability to make others around her better. Yeah, like, she's a bucket. Literally watching the finals and watching games, it's like people got to send double teams to her and she's still dominating. So I would say Asia Wilson as of right now.
And do you have a role model outside of basketball?
I would really, like, this is like, but like my dad, like, I would say my parents, both my parents, and for their different reasons. My dad, of course, I can relate when it comes to the basketball aspect, and just being able to see him play at the collegiate level and then see what he's been able to do in life after basketball, just showing me that he was more than just an athlete. Then when it comes to my mom, she's just a strong woman. Like, my mom don't do sports. I'll tell you that. My mom doesn't do sports, but she's just a strong woman and has been that role model for what what a woman looks like. And that's where I get a lot of my characteristics from when it's away from basketball. So both my parents, definitely.
Awesome. So let's talk more about how the game has changed, maybe even since you've been in college, but certainly since I was in college. So athletes can now have NIL deals. You all can market yourselves as the brands that you deserve to be. Can you talk about how you've approached developing your brand and your reputation both on the court but also off the court? I'd love to hear about how you approach that.
I would say at first, if I'm being honest, I wasn't really like super big on it in my years of being in college. And then I went to SC. I got a little bit of a taste of it because, like, you're in LA, like, there's so many different things going on. And then when I kind of got here was kind of when I really kind of honed in on it. When it comes to my brand, just being able to put out authentic, real content. Because at the end of the day,
Tell me about it. Where are you putting the content out? Where can we find it?
Instagram, I show a little bit. Instagram is more like IG baddie and I hoop type of place. And then TikTok is more of like a little bit of my goofy side. But yeah, just being able to post authentic content and yeah, like getting deals for different things. Like that's been a blessing. Like I've gotten a couple big deals that were like, wow, like I would have never thought I would have been doing anything with these companies. Like I had to deal with Canes, had to deal with Savage X Fenty. Then there's a couple other ones like in the works as we speak. Just being able to use my name and like capitalize off of it. And I mean, social media and NIL is honestly the name of the game right now. So being able to just capitalize and get a little bit out of my comfort zone. I'm a very private to myself, like if you know me, then you know type of thing. So getting a little bit out of my shell, but still having that privacy balance has been like, that's what I'm working through, but I've definitely got out of my shell a little bit and it's definitely opened up many opportunities for me when it comes to the NIL stage.
And those will be great platforms for when you get to the W, right? Next year. Amazing.
Yes.
All right. So let's talk about leadership. You've talked about it a little bit today, and I've also seen prior interviews that you've given where you've talked about the importance of being a leader on your teams. It could be a coach, it could be another player. Who are some of the greatest leaders you've been around so far?
I would have to go with Katie Lutman and Karen White's, both my high school coaches. I would just say they were very black and white. There was no gray area. They were super consistent. Like I knew every day when I came into practice, like I knew what I was going to get. I knew if I was late, I knew what I was going to get. Like it didn't wave at all. Those two for sure. Yeah.
And as a senior on your team now, what are you bringing to the table for the young guns on your team, for the freshmen and the folks that are trying to figure it out like you were 4 or 5 years ago at Oregon, right?
I would say for me, like with leadership, like I'm a lead by example type of person. I'm not a big like rah, like really like get into you type of person. But I think just leading by leadership and being consistent, being able to just respect somebody who you see gets in the gym every day and works on their game. So their game backs up the things that they're saying. And then just being that vet that can really uplift my freshmen. Like I said, it's a long season and it's highs and lows, and just being able to keep them in a good headspace. Like I've learned with basketball, or I guess just sports in general, like if you lose it mentally, it's a wrap. So being able to just be there for them, be a listening ear, like I'm all ears for them, especially because when I was younger, or when I was in those phases, like I wish I had someone I could, go to and get all the answers to, or be prepared for certain things that were going to happen.
And we're preseason number 17, right?
Yes.
And so when you all are thinking about the season, whether it's with your coaches or just among you and your teammates, you said a good team is a player-led team. How do you all define what the sky looks like if you made the Elite Eight before, and if you've won your conference before, and if you have returning players and current transfers that are top of the charts? How do you all, what's on your vision board for this year?
I would definitely say we want to win a league title before we do anything. And I think just being able to be that close-knit team, have each other's backs, and just know that really for us, like the sky really is the limit and we can go really far. We just have to believe in one another, believe in our coaches, and just have the belief in that, like we're a great team. And no matter whether we have 10 new people or 2 new people, like we can make it work. And I'm just super excited. I'm super excited for this team.
All right. So my last topic for you is actually one of my favorite topics. It's legacy. So I would love to hear about how you think about your collegiate athlete legacy. This is your sort of final year, as far as we can see, of collegiate basketball. The W is next. If you could write the story, and I think you will write the story, what will they say about you as a collegiate athlete?
I think they would say that I'm a player who could definitely shoot it. I'm a player that plays with passion, defends, and I would say a hardworking player. I think those are the things that they would definitely say about me if they were to write a legacy about me. Yeah, I would say those things. So they kind of wrap into other things.
And in 22 years, when you're interviewing one of your in 22 years, when you're interviewing one of your teammates, what will they say about you then? What will you have accomplished in the long term in your life?
They would be able to say that I'm a CEO of some type of business. They'll be able to say that I am I was a pro. I don't know if I'll still be playing 22 years. Um,
Right.
I was a pro. They'll be able to say that I'm a super family-oriented person. I gave back to my community, and they would be able to see like they'll be able to say I'm in some type of like I want to get into like the fashion industry, whether that's like modeling. But yeah, they would definitely say like I could dress for sure.
Okay. All right. And so for anyone that sees this, how can they support you personally and how can they support your team?
Personally, I'm just having positive vibes, positive feedback, just cheering me on, good or bad. And then I'll say for my team, just being super like diehard Horn Frog fans. Like, that's how you support my team. You support my team by showing up if you can when you're in Fort Worth and tuning in on TV. That's how you support my team.
And you mentioned your Instagram and your TikTok.
Yes.
Where can we find you on social media?
On Instagram, tay.biggs, and on TikTok, taybiggs._. So Tay Biggs will get you wherever you need to
Right.
get.
Google Tay Biggs. Right. And then for the kid that's watching this, and they could be an actual kid or just a young professional who has big dreams and no particular path, no plan, maybe even no mentor. What are your words of advice to them on how to achieve greatness and how to be a winner at every level?
Whew. I would say be confident in anything and everything that you do, and don't let any coach, parent, a friend, don't let them take that confidence away from you. And to win, you got to have winning habits. So I've always told myself your work got to match like your goals. So like if you want to make it to, the W, or you want to win at a high level, what are you doing away from that to get to that? So like if you're never in the gym, you only do, what the bare minimum is, which is weights and practice, that's not matching the goals of what you want to accomplish. So I would just say let your work match whatever goals you want. And that's just for life, period. Like not just for sports, because at some point the ball is going to stop bouncing and you're going to have something else to lean on. And I would say find your identity.
Yeah,
Lastly,
please.
I would say find your identity outside of your sport. That's important.
And so what do you mean by that?
I would say like find the other things that you like to do outside of, for me, basketball. So like I've recently found out I love shopping. I love fashion industry. I want to get into modeling. Content creation is cool here and there. Like I'm learning other things that I like to do outside of basketball. So, when basketball is not going as well, I also have all these other things to lean on. And like I said, like as you get older, athletics, you find that your sport does really take a lot of your time. And if you don't have other things to lean on or things that you like doing, it can really take a toll on you, and your mental. Like I use that as like my me time, like going shopping and doing all the other things. Like that's like pouring into my own cup. So I guess that's what I mean by finding your own identity. Like don't get too caught in pouring so much into another cup that you're not fulfilling yours.
And how do you decide, this is really my last question, how do you decide which shoes to hoop in from year to year?
I discovered USC made me a Kobe girl just because like we were getting Kobe's, custom Kobe's and stuff. So I'm definitely a Kobe girl down. Like if I can wear any shoe, it's probably going to be a Kobe. But it's kind of just like day to day. Honestly, like even in practice, I kind of switch it up. I try not to wear the same shoe all the time. But I don't really have like a method. It's just kind of like whatever I'm feeling like or whatever looks good with like whatever jerseys we're wearing.
Well, Taylor, it's been a pleasure getting to know you. I'm so proud of everything that you've accomplished.